It's officially day 25 of 31 Days of Horror slash 31 Days of Halloween, and hallelujah, we have got a good one today. And before we get into the meat and potatoes of today's entry in our countdown, a lot of people kind of look back at the 2000s, particularly the early 2000s, as being a pretty bad time for horror films in general, which I really don't believe to be the case. I mean, if you're looking only at mainstream, North American releases, yeah, it's a pretty crappy deal. But if you actually look at the international horror offerings in that time frame, specifically the ones coming out of Asia, I mean, it was just absolutely just bombing it, year over year with really, really great genre offerings. And with the film today, we actually have one of the few truly great early 2000s big studio horror offerings. And there really weren't a whole lot, I'll admit that. And this one is really, really direly underrated. From 2001, it is Frailty. Yes, Frailty, the Matthew McConaughey vehicle, directed by Bill Paxton, believe it or not. And this is just a really, really great sort of supernatural psychological thriller with a really, really great plot twist to the end. If you haven't seen it before, it's pretty simple. It begins with Matthew McConaughey. He shows up at an FBI satellite office in Dallas. And he's like, I just want you to know, I've been killing a whole lot of people, but I have a very good reason. So anyway, of course, the FBI field officer is like, well, I should just throw you out. Oh, by the way, he's played by Powers Booth, which is great. He's totally fantastic in his role. Uh, so basically, instead of saying, you know what, I'm just going to throw you out because you're a kook, he says, all right, come on, office, we'll talk about what you've been doing. And then the rest of the movie is pretty much told through flashback, even though it does jump back to modern day quite a bit. And Matthew McConaughey spins a yarn about how his dad claimed to have prophetic visions in the early 1980s about an angel giving him holy weapons to go out and kill demons. Because apparently there are demons walking around in our modern world causing all sorts of havoc, and only he can see them. And naturally, this leads to a lot of people being abducted and a lot of, well, let's just say a lot of fun in an underground bunker. We've got some pretty grisly stuff going on. And of course, you kind of have that interplay between Matthew McConaughey and his younger brother, where the younger brother believes dad wholeheartedly is out there killing demons. But, Matthew McConaughey's character is kind of like, no, you're crazy. And he wonders, like, at what point does he say this has gone on far enough? I need to get a hold of the police. Do I run? What do I do? And to really say anything after that would to give away a really, really, really fantastic plot twist at the very, very end. So, I'm not going to tell you anything else. On the fact that this is a great, great, great little psychological thriller. I'm not really a huge fan of films like, but I really enjoyed this one. Great acting, incredible atmosphere, great development, terrific dialogue. Not really an especially graphic special effects driven movie. So a lot of it is just kind of driven by pure atmosphere and character development, which is great. And honestly, I have no idea why this film isn't more celebrated. It's utterly fantastic. It's kind of crazy to me that stuff like Jeepers Creepers and The Ring kind of come to define the 2000s in terms of mainstream horror. When you have a movie that's just really utterly fantastic like Frailty staring you in the face. So yeah, in case you haven't seen it, you need to see it. It's great, especially if you're not really a big fan of the more extreme horror films. All right. So Frailty, I'm going to give this one 3.5 Ghost Reese's Cups out of 4. So it is not just good, it's darn near great. So yeah, go ahead, go out there and check it out. And tomorrow, for day 26, we are going to be looking at one of the most controversial reboots in the history of the horror genre. Does it get a bad rap, or is it well deserved? Tune in tomorrow, and I'll tell you what I'm talking about.